A lot of people are drawn to the idea of minimalism. They can see how owning fewer things means that they can have more money and time and energy for the things that matter most. A lot of people desire to pursue the lifestyle but quickly run into an obstacle. The obstacle of sentimental items. I want to own less, but what am I going to do about this and that, or this and that? Well, if that is you, let me offer some ideas on how to minimize sentimental things. First of all, don't start there. You don't begin your minimizing journey getting rid of the hardest thing that you would ever have to get rid of. So start the process by getting rid of the stuff in your home that you know you don't need. As you work through different categories of things, as you work through different spaces and rooms, you will see the benefits of owning less. You will learn tips and tricks. You'll kind of recognize the emotions and feelings that emerge. And when you get to the sentimental things, eventually, you'll be more prepared to handle them. So start the journey with the easy stuff. Get to sentimental things a little bit later. Keep also in mind that less is different than none. Nobody is asking anybody to get rid of all sentimental items, the things that tie them to past relationships or experiences. You don't have to get rid of everything. Less is different than none. Find some freedom in that. Remember also the simple fact that the memories are in you, not in the object that you'll be getting rid of. The person you want to remember spoke into your life. The event, the trip that you went on, the memories are in your mind and in your heart. They're not in the object. Getting rid of the object doesn't mean you're going to lose the memories or that person's influence on your life. It is scientifically proven that if you take a picture of an item, it's easier for you to get rid of. The picture can help spark those memories or stir them up. So maybe that will be a helpful step for you. But just remember, the memory is in you, not in the item that you're going to be removing. Interestingly, you will also discover that owning fewer items actually brings greater significance to them. If you go to a museum, it's not enjoyable because every piece of artwork ever created hangs on the walls. A museum is great because someone has carefully curated which items are most representative of an artist or a season or a period of time. Here's how this worked out in our family. My wife's grandmother died and she was very close to her grandmother, and she went through her apartment and brought home 2 cardboard boxes full of items that she had gotten, that she had brought home as a way to remember her grandmother. We found minimalism and we started going through our home. Eventually we got to the basement and we stumbled upon these 2 cardboard boxes that had been in our basement on the shelf unopened for years. So my wife went through the boxes and she pulled out 3 items. She pulled out a candy dish that was always in her grandmother's living room full of candy. She pulled out a lapel pin that her grandmother used to wear on her coat. And she grabbed her grandmother's Bible. And now the candy dish is in our living room. Her grandmother's pin is on her coat. Her grandmother's Bible is in her nightstand. And because we kept fewer things, we actually brought greater significance to that relationship, to the values that my wife appreciated most about her grandmother. Owning less actually brings greater value to them. A helpful idea as you begin to minimize is to set a physical boundary of some sort. If you have 2 boxes of things, can you cut it down to 1? Can you get rid of a third? Can you get rid of a fourth? Sometimes setting those boundaries helps us distinguish between what is kind of important and what is the most important, the most representative of that. I once heard from a caller doing a radio show in Canada, and she said her theory is only the best. She keeps only 1 item that helps her remember that relationship, or that event in her life. Same type of thought process, only the best, just half of what I have, whatever is a boundary that makes sense for you. I encourage you to digitize all physical photos. The only way that a photo is going to last from generation to generation is by digitizing it. Photos fade, or we lose them in fire or flood. So digitize your photos anyway. You'll be thankful that you have a copy of them. Let me leave you with one final thought, and it is this. Try to use the emotional attachment that you have to sentimental items to motivate you to get rid of them. What do I mean by that? I mean this. When you think of the things that you most want to remember in life, we think of relationships, we think of accomplishments, and we think of events. That these are the three things that we hold on to sentimental items for. Well, what happens when we hold on to things we don't need, when we begin collecting physical possessions that aren't needed, it ends up taking time and money and effort and energy to care for those items. In other words, the things we keep, the things we hold on to, actually distract us from relationships, accomplishments, and events. Those things that we most value in life, we are able to do less of when we hold on to things that aren't necessary. So who do you want to be remembered as? What type of life do you want to be remembered for living? Use that motivation to go through the things in your home, to minimize your possessions, including your sentimental items, so that you can live more of the life you want to be living. For more videos like this about how to own less and live more, click to subscribe.